Good evening. This is the November 5th, 2013 Raleigh Board of Water Commissioner meeting. It is now 6:11. First order of business is to accept the minutes for 10/8. Do we have any problems with the 10/8 meeting minutes?
I have no problems with
Is you right?
No, I'm not.
Have a motion to accept it?
it. So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The second order is to accept the minutes for October 16th, 2013.
That was, yes.
Got a motion to accept them?
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And Roy abstains. October 22nd, 2013. Any problems with those minutes?
I have no problems with it.
I'm all set with
We have a motion to accept them?
I'll make the motion. We
Second.
accept
it. Second.
All in favor?
them. Aye.
Second is to sign the purchase orders.
I see what we're doing tonight. I'll do it again.
E.J. Prescott, is this supplies, John?
Yeah, some of it actually we're gonna use, a couple pieces of stock.
Okay. You got the hydrant on here, is that replacing the hydrant we used?
Actually, we're gonna use that on Dodge Road.
Oh, okay.
I've got a couple more to put together.
Speaking of hydrants, where do we stand with the insurance case against the hydrant that was hit in September?
Um,
September 6th, I believe.
They had an email from town, says, town's insurance does not cover fire hydrants. We've investigated with the driver's insurance company, and it appears the car was uninsured, but the police are investigating this further. At this point, this claim will be held in abeyance.
Police officer told me you did have insurance. Well, he would have cited them, being uninsured. Hydrants 1875,
Oh, yeah.
after 11 something.
Who's the witness?
See what retail is.
They're not covering it, but they'll keep the case open.
So what do we have to, do we have to file something against them? Is that how the next step?
Well, we have to wait till the police finish their investigation.
Yes.
Who'd you talk to over there
I've just got this.
today?
What do you, we've normally done on something like that, Joe?
It's never really come up before.
I mean, is that something that, like if the police come up and he has got insurance and everything else, and then we have to send him a bill or? Somebody's
Well,
gonna pay for it, right?
Carmen was going through, what we probably would have to do is go through Debbie downtown. And I would assume that we would probably bring them to small claims.
I mean, somebody's gonna pay for it, we shouldn't have.
Yeah. But whether we show up or go there, I don't.
No, I'm just asking what the next step is.
Well, the police will either determine he did have insurance or didn't have insurance, so it doesn't look like he has insurance, so what would the police do? Does police have,
That's what they find out, I guess. Just wait to hear.
and then Amy's on top of this, right?
Yes.
So, well, we'll wait to hear from her. Let's just put out like a reminder in 2 weeks to get a status on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could, maybe call next week and see if there's anything going on with that.
Yeah.
Perchlorate tests from BioMarine.
John, do you think it's necessary to keep 2 hydrants in stock at the price?
Yes.
Well, we've had 1, right?
Huh?
You usually had 1 in stock?
Usually we've had one.
I mean, sometimes we've got a couple of them, they just, if something gets hit one night, and next night, I mean, how long does it take them to get them delivered?
A couple days or a day.
Makes sense to have at least 2 here, I think.
Well, you can take a ride down there in Middleton, pick one up, right?
Right.
If you had to.
Keep 1 in stock, that would cover you, you're talking almost $2,000.
No. Yeah.
Where they're going up, the next one's probably will be low.
All right, the perchlorate tests are $250 each, and synthetic organic contamination, $850 each. Can you, gather up these tests and look at the methodology? I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more detail on the bill here from BioMarine. Do they have any specific methodology that they're required to do when they do perform the testing?
I'd have to look that through with the CMI through town
Yeah.
and see what the approved method is. There's a lot of methods on some of these tests.
Well, we're still open with this subject about lab cost and maybe getting more of a pricing thing across some of the labs and get some options. So it's hard to get that unless we look at the lab tests themselves. So maybe I can get a little more involved with that with you and maybe Glenn.
Yeah,
Maybe we can have a meeting.
that'd be good.
Okay?
Yeah,
Then we could all be on the same page.
right.
We get that, we're still working on that bid sheet, you know, looking at the cost. Do you have any update on that?
Just, I haven't had a chance to go through the methods, you know, all the different methods of testing.
Okay. All right, maybe we can sit down and do that next week. Do you know if Georgetown uses BioMarine, or they use the other lab that was up in, what was it, Littleton or something?
Oh, Oshawa.
Yeah.
I don't know if he split it up, you know, used different labs, so we'll find out.
When's a good time to meet with maybe you and Glenn?
Mornings or afternoons.
When do these guys bolt out the door to do all the work out here?
7:15, 7:30.
Yeah. And when do they come back? Lunchtime or?
Yep. And, you know, usually a little before 3:30.
Does Glenn have like an office day that he has to get all his paperwork done? Or?
Yeah, actually, he's been working on the month-end reports right now.
Yeah, so he's pretty much around.
Yeah.
Okay. Tie sales. Flange kit and gasket, what's going on with that?
They're getting ready for a meeting in Switch Glass at Building 6. We have a meter in stock, but we didn't have the companion flanges coming with it.
What's this level F controls? You gonna put a price on there or something, or what?
Well, actually, the flow meter has been malfunctioning at well 5. And I was just able to get them in today.
Okay.
Master meter. It's affecting the pacing.
So this isn't even ready for this presentation tonight, right?
It doesn't have a bill yet. no,
So
so
let's wait on
I
that.
don't know what you're gonna run into when
Bring it up next time.
you're doing a repair.
Northeast Environmental Lab.
Yeah.
So we're using a different lab now?
No, this is the monitoring wells at Big Refinery.
Oh, yeah, cool. Why are we using Northeast Environmental Lab?
We started the program with them.
Well, should we have them on our list? Do we have them on our list?
Actually, no, we don't, but I could
Okay.
put them on there and check them out.
Yeah, let's put them on the list. Because they're on a fecal coliform, ammonia, conductivity, metals. Is this the first time we did sampling there?
No,
How many times have we taken that over so far?
twice.
Okay, who does the sampling?
They do,
They send somebody out to do the samples?
yeah,
So this is collection and analysis,
yes.
or just collection?
Analysis and collection.
6,225, and then collection sample 682. Okay. Weren't we gonna go through the, see how many times we had to do this, or we cut back on some of the testing?
I think once the plant's built, I'm told that and I'm not sure, I guess, there'd be some monitoring also in the plant, we could probably not have to do those.
Well, we have to go to the planning board. The planning board or Concom require this, didn't they?
Yes.
Or the Board of Health? Who required this?
I think it was about health.
Can we, put it on a list of things to do to find out, you know, what we can do here, what's necessary, what can we cut back on this? I mean, how long is this? This has been going on quite a while, right?
Yeah,
And how many times a year do they do it?
just once.
It's a yearly sampling?
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody
Just
been?
because it's a community septic there, and it's just
Yeah.
a tracking tool,
Well, how far away is this from the wellhead?
migration. Well, you know where the complex is, yeah, just across the field, on the edge of the cornfield.
Okay, well, I think we ought to look at that, because that's $2,000 a year out of our budget.
Yeah.
And we can kind of think it makes sense. What they do is they monitor the septic system area. but they probably they have 6 well locations. So is there 6 systems over there, or is it just one?
I think there's two,
There's 2?
one for each side.
And is there wells that are between the septic system and our water supply?
Yes.
Okay. So maybe somebody should ought to look at that. Maybe we can revisit that, okay?
Yeah.
So it's a suite of testing for 225. Siri Graphics, what's that about?
Holding allowance for,
Oh, okay.
whether we talked about it.
A T-shirt for $4.50.
Yeah,
Gee, that's a pretty good price, right?
sure is.
And they come with an emblem on it?
Yeah.
Really? And they're in Raleigh?
Yep. Yeah, small.
Done by Dunkin' Donuts.
Double check valves. What's this for,
It's part of the meter setups for the new construction.
all right.
Excuse me, John, is this something the department can do to collect the samples for Northeast Labs? Would save $682. What it is for collecting them.
They kind of have some,
Excuse me?
they kind of have some special equipment that they, all 10 of those. The tube and the submersible boat pump there. They purge it so many times.
Yeah.
But it may, when it's done, we
Yeah.
may be
So-
able to dispense with it all.
I think the point here, John, is we need to start looking at the cost of things, just instead of,
Right.
Go ahead and do it, just get some pricing.
The testing's $13.50 and the just collecting the samples $682, bring it up to $2,032.
Yeah.
Time to shop, John.
So what you would do is you would put a list of the analysis that's required. And then either contact somebody to sample it through the lab or whatever. And then, but you would want to have a couple of quotes there. They're probably used to charging that amount, so maybe you could,
They're usually the same price.
it's the same price? Okay, so you check that. So then you would think that they were more concerned about, pricing it out.
John, why are we having sweatshirts and t-shirts lettered up?
But they didn't have uniforms. Because the uniforms was cheapest too, the way the guys are doing it. Instead of a weekly rental thing.
Why is a dual check valve cost $127, John?
Those are the
I'm
four.
not squawking about the price of the sweatshirts and t-shirts, but why is it necessary to have them lettered up?
Well, I think they actually,
It's kind of an
they should be,
identification thing.
for going to different people's houses,
When you go to someone's house,
you know what I'm saying, still. With all the stuff that goes on and some of the
people get nervous.
20 miles down the road stuff, people going in saying they're checking the meter and ripping them off. I think it's more professional myself, that they should be lettered up.
Yeah.
But if figures out cheap, we've sat down and we've done that over the years. And it's cheaper than the clothing allowance that it is to pay for rental uniform.
For the uniform service, yeah. It's cheaper than the uniforms.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean, paying the guys a clothing allowance is cheaper than
yeah.
renting every week for the
I mean, the union.
6, 8 shirts and pants and jacket
The
and stuff.
union gives them X number of dollars.
I know we brought that up 2, 3 years ago, we talked about that.
Yeah, an allowance, if the t-shirts cost $40 a piece, we'd still have to pay it, because we have a certain allowance.
800, isn't it, John?
Yeah. So,
I
It's
think
$800 a
I'm
year.
just saying that it's a pretty good price there for some of that stuff there.
Right,
Can you show us one of these double check valves, John?
sure. Should have one on the shelf, I think.
You're next on the agenda, so.
Okay.
What's that for? For a certain job?
It's ordered 20 of them for meter setups and new construction.
Oh.
So it's probably some of the new houses over at the golf course.
And what is it?
But they're
Double
$127 a piece.
what is it for? The double what?
Check valves.
Winter coming on, it's time to lighten up on the inventory.
How many houses were over there? I mean, you figure, just in Dodgeville, they can go through those 20.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, a check valve, I bought check valves years ago, and they were $127, I don't know. I wanna see what a $127 check valve looks like. I'm just curious.
You used to buy gas, for probably have to, 2 years ago.
I just filled up the excursion today. It was $150.
Gas down in Florida over the weekend, 'cause I had to fill up the rental gas, 307 a gallon.
Oh, really? Yeah, some refining facilities over there.
That's why it's brass.
Well, there's
Oh,
a
wow,
requirement
so I
now
can see.
No, I'm just saying, that's why it's expensive, it's brass.
for no lead brass because of the lead copper rule.
So this is like
The
a,
prices went up on it. There's 2 check valves in there. It's like a backflow prevention
yeah,
device.
wow.
It comes apart.
It's not gonna spring out and have Roy, you know?
Bid order 21, he's gonna take one apart.
Yeah. Wanna see that?
It's expensive, but on the other hand, I'd hate to make that for $127, have to make it for $127.
It's 2 spring-loaded checks inside. They press down on them.
Alright,
What it does is if, like a backflow device, if there's a water break in the street, it doesn't pull water from the house back out into the break when the vacuum is created.
Yeah.
So it's, he's kind of big on backflow prevention.
Is this on new stuff, John, or is this all through town?
We've been using them for a long time.
Yeah.
it's larger than an inch, isn't it?
But it's an inch thread.
Looks larger than an inch, doesn't it?
No, but are there houses in town that don't have these?
There may be a few, I mean, we've used them since I've been here. They were in practice since I started working here.
Yeah.
I suspect someday there'll be a requirement for it.
Is there an arrow on that for flow?
Yes.
Does that go inside the basement?
It goes under the meter horn
Okay.
on the customer side.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Thanks for showing us that. All right. That's $2,500.
Most of these going up to Dodge Road.
Between the two, Main Street
Okay.
and Dodge Road. Quite a few units.
Well, when they apply for a service, they're giving us a check for $3,500, is it?
For the connection fee is 3,000.
$3,000, so.
And then
What is that, now, what's the cost really for us to really hook somebody up? You got that cost.
That's,
well, no, actually on new construction they pay for everything.
that 3,000 just for the piece of paper to say you can hook up, right?
Right.
That's materials. While we're talking about this, we have to start charging sales tax.
Why?
Because it's a law.
I thought the town didn't pay something.
You're selling that product.
Yeah, but I thought the town was taxed.
You have to pay that, the light department. I was told charge sales tax. We have to start charging. If you're selling this to somebody, you have to start charging them the sales tax.
But I always thought the town was tax exempt.
Tax exempt if you're buying it. When you're selling it, that's a different story.
Hmm. I think that can be accommodated with the program you get, but, so anyways, John, when we hook up, when a house hooks up, it's that part, there's a meter, right?
There's a meter, and there's what's called a meter horn,
And a meter horn.
which is a fixture that holds the meter.
And what about, do we cover the pipe going to that? Or do they cover, or do they pick up everything,
They pick
including
up,
the meter?
they pick up everything, including the meter, and then we assume the meter forever after.
Okay, but they pay for
The initial,
that plus the 3,000?
yeah.
Wow, okay. All right. All right, so we got that, that's done, right? This will have to come up next time. You want to keep that in another file? No.
Yeah, just put a note over there.
Okay, the next order of business is the pre and post evasion reviews.
Voice.
Would you like to come up and
Sure.
tell us, yeah, come on
Come
up.
stand up there.
No, can I bring a chair over for this?
You're the only one I haven't spoken with. I'm Danielle.
I'm good.
So I'm Danielle. I'm a
Thank you for
licensed
coming.
insurance agent. And your first question I could answer, because that's my expertise, when you're talking about the hydrant hit by a car. Now, when I got my bill and they gave me a data report and handed me this, and that's it, with all these graphs, I'm not a water person, so I don't know. I've tried to figure some of it out. I have some guesses. Since I wasn't getting much help from here, I've gone to other sources as far as my sprinkler guy, my cousin's a septic guy. I've spoke to other people that have sprinkler systems. So what I've gathered from information is that my bill's incorrect. So to review in, we moved to Raleigh July 19th. We didn't use the sprinkler system until maybe mid-August. We got the first water bill, actually the first real water bill, full water bill. It was $332. We paid it, and we shut down the sprinkler system and said we're done, the grass can burn. I get the next water bill, which is more, $383, and that's a problem. Now,
So how did you shut the sprinkler system down?
we
I'm
just
just
shut
curious.
the water off, so we had it on a timer, so we have 4 zones, and each zone would go on for 15 minutes, and then it goes off. So we shut it off so it's not running, and then we had it blown out.
So is there like a valve on it to keep the water from going out in the yard? I don't know.
What do you
Yeah, how do you shut it off?
Shut off, Al.
You can,
You shut off this what?
yeah, you can
Different-
just shut it off so it doesn't go on at all, because
Yeah.
when we first moved in, they weren't using the sprinkler system. We had them turn it on, because you have to have a sprinkler person actually come out, turn it on. You blow it out before the winter comes so nothing freezes.
That's it.
So we shut it off, and then we had it blown out.
What was the difference in the gallons between the 2 months?
The month that we did use it, it wasn't even a full month, was 19,221. And then the next month, that there are a few days it was on just because of the billing cycle. 5 days from what I'm figuring out from this graph. We were doing every day, then we did every other day, then we did every third day. So the next month was 22,077 gallons. It's me, my husband, and we have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and the 2-year-old does not even use a potty. My kids get baths together. We moved here from North Reading. We use the same
So
amount
it's
of water,
essentially just almost like a 2-person family almost.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Did we check the meter on that, John?
Yeah. I mean, they
The meter
dedicate a lot
test
of-
out all right?
That doesn't seem to be a leak.
Carmen did, and I would say Carmen's been very nice and returned my calls, but he can only help me so far. Now, you gave, my husband came in last week, and our bill for this past billing cycle, which is 37 days, a little bit more, is $77.55, which makes sense to me. But when I look at these graphs, which I'm trying to work this out on my own, I don't know what the difference between blue lines are and red lines.
Red's
But-
costing you money.
Well, the blue line's up there too. My sprinklers were on here. Why is it all of a sudden all the way up here? They were only the 15-minute intervals. And that's a lot of gallons. From what my sprinkler guy told me is that you use 5 gallons a minute. So I did 5 gallons times 15 minutes, you get 75. And then you times that, figure there's 5 heads per zone. Times the 5 heads, it's 375 gallons. Times the 4 zones, I would have used probably at most, and this is for an average sprinkler system, 1,500 gallons a day. So if on this billing cycle that I'm questioning, and there's like 3 days in the prior billing that I'm wondering if those are correct too, that would be 7,500 gallons. I just don't know where this water is going. I have, I'm up, I can hear if it's on. I get the 2 little kids. I've got a dog that's old and has to go out constantly. I would think I'd be stepping in mush when I step outside.
So what happened on this day here, at the end here? This thing dropped down to this.
We shut it down. That's,
That shut what down?
yeah, that's gotta be when we shut it off.
Shut the sprinkler system off?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm assuming.
Well, that's
From what
that's
I'm looking at.
September, it's September like 10th or 12th.
Yeah, I think it's about the 12th, and probably, because we got the bill on a Friday. No, Thursday or Friday, and we shut it down the day we got the bill. But it was blown out after that, but we weren't using any
So I'm
water.
not sure about these dates too. This starts in August, where it bumped up in August.
That's weird. I don't understand this, but
Yeah, John, can you explain this? It looks like, she's talking about, you bought the house in July, you put the thing on and then you turned it off, right?
Right.
yes. And we went back to the prior owners
That's
and all
over here.
this.
It's over here. So the first bill would have been reflecting July's?
The first bill was pennies. It was $23.93, and we weren't using the sprinkler system.
Okay,
That
so
was a very
what was the reading date on the July bill?
So the July bill went from 7/17 to 7/30, because they had to do the last reading before we moved in.
Okay, so that's down in this neighborhood, right down in here. So that was a low bill, right?
Yes,
23, what is it?
that was $23.93.
And that was only a partial. Well, it was a partial month because you
Right.
moved in
Right.
halfway through. So then the next bill came in. When did that come in?
The next bill is billing from 7:30 to 8:28. That's for 30 days. And saying we use 19,200.
So it started going up at the end of that month.
Which then the sprinkler system was turned on, probably right around here. I
But
just don't-
still, it's still up in here.
It's still at the 15-minute interval, so that's why I don't understand how all of a sudden more water would start squirting out.
So at this point here in August, you said, hey, I'm gonna let my lawn die.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, it kind of bumped up like here
Yeah, well,
in
here,
September.
probably the sprinkler system was on because the next billing period that I'm questioning is the 8/28 to 9/25. But before we got that bill, the sprinkler system was still on. Not much, because we were using it every other day, every third day.
Oh, so you still
But
were
there is a
using it.
small period, yeah, that when you look at the billing cycle, that it was on. And the other thing is, my parents they live in Danvers, and they have a sprinkler system, and they have 9 zones. And it's billed quarterly. It was like 70,000 gallons quarterly, and if you broke that down into 3 months, it came out to like 24,000, and they ran theirs for 20 minutes a zone, so how is it possible?
24,000 a month, was it, or?
It'd be like 20, yeah, because they're billed quarterly.
Yeah.
So quarterly, it was like 72,000 or
Yeah.
70, somewhere between 70 and 72,000 gallons.
And what is yours?
And on top of that, they found out they had a leak. So it's just, if you broke that into 3 months, if you about 24,000 a month, and they have a leak, are using the sprinkler system more than me and have 5 more zones. So people I've spoke to, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I'll pay for what I used. I just don't believe we used all this.
I don't know, it looks to me like you got a leak there. You did use it in August and September, but not all the time, right?
Right, so at first we used it every day. Then we changed it because we were getting nervous what the water would be.
Yeah.
The first one we got,
Yeah,
we changed it every other day. Then we changed it every third day.
yeah, and then you still,
It's just,
and
Well,
then
and I know
then you
that-
shut the thing completely off at the
Yeah.
end of,
I've tried every which
What's
way
that
to
still?
see if I'm wrong, and I just don't see I'm wrong anywhere.
September 10th. Said, that's it, we're out of here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you cut the thing. So when you turn the sprinkler system off, are there valves you actually have to turn the water from going up
My
the
mother
yard?
shut it off for me because they have a
Or is it like an electronic control
To shut it off or blow it out.
to shut it off?
To shut it off, it's on a box.
So it's
Is that-
electronic
I
controls
think
on
it's
it?
electronic.
Yeah.
And then to blow it out, he had my system hooked up to some truck to blow it out.
Yeah, that's, well, you know, it looks to me like you've got a leak there. I don't,
You think a leak in the sprinkler system?
yeah, a big leak. You know, when the thing goes on, it's leaking quite a bit. And then you were trying to conserve it by shutting it off every other third day. What do you see, John?
Yeah,
So I don't know if it's a meter problem. I think you got a leak there. But the sprinkler system guy checked it out?
He said it didn't appear like there was any leaks.
Did the guys, we send our guys out there?
if you do this data log.
Glenn and some other guy came out, but I also thought that was interesting because they
But
came
so
out
now you let the,
at 10:17, the report says 10:16.
yeah, but the thing's all blown out now, so you can't
Yeah.
really, you could pressure test it with air, couldn't you, John?
I'm no irrigation guy, but I imagine there must be some way. But,
Danielle, when did you turn it on?
Officially turn it on?
Yes.
It's like mid-August. I'm gonna give you an exact date, but it was, I'm pretty
That's
sure it's
right.
mid-August. And I think we turned it off on 9. I think we shut it off on September 12th, and it was blown out on October 13th.
Makes me wonder.
When I got this last bill, I told the sprinkler guy to get over and blow it out. I just wanted it.
And the sprinkler man turned it on?
The sprinkler guy?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a turn it on.
So there's no real way to determine if there's a leak here at this point, because they're all blown out, those lines, unless somebody wants to go out there and do an air pressure test.
Makes you wonder if there's been water left in there last winter and froze or the solenoid's stuck. But
Well, the prior owners said they turned it off 2 years ago because you guys went to, the billing started changing in Raleigh and they couldn't make sense of their bills. So I wonder if there was an issue then and they just ignored it and shut it down to not deal with it, or more want to deal with
Water
it.
was cheaper back then, too.
Because when you look at going back on that first page, it's bizarre. I can't make any sense out of it.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we abate it down to here. And if Danielle turns the sprinkler system on next spring, it shoots up again, she's on her own.
Why not turn that sprinkler system back on? You get 2 kids to send us
Yeah,
home.
I think you got a leak, and I think, the only way you could do that is if you, say you're out there and you have the sprinkler system on, and you could see the sprinklers shut
That's
down,
my,
and you can go to your meter and see if that thing's moving, and everything's shut off in the house, right? You look out the window, you see that the sprinkler system's shut down. You see the meter moving. Then that means you got some water leakage there.
Now, when they came out on the 17th, Glenn shined a flashlight to get the
Yep.
zeros up. Actually, that was blown up. It was blown up when they came.
Right. So,
So you're saying if I hadn't had it blown out, maybe the meter would have been running?
yeah, he can tell if there's a leak going on, if they shut off in the house and he's looking at it, but if the sprinkler system was blown out. And I'm not sure how those electronic controls work, but there might be a gate valve or something you turn to turn the water feed going off to the sprinkler system. So, you would want to, make sure that's
There is a
on.
water valve out there because before, I didn't know if the sprinkler guy was gonna come that day or whatever, I just wanted the water off, and he did mention some valve outside that I could shut off in the meantime. He said it was okay to shut off because he'd have to do it anyways to blow it out.
Yeah.
So there's something.
See, sometimes this stumps a technician because they're out there, they're looking at it, and they don't see any wet spots in the lawn because the soil conditions might be so good that the water's just dissipating underneath the ground. And it's not like a clay type dirt, so it'd be like a sand gravel thing with just the water would be swallowed up by the leakage, into the ground. You wouldn't see any evidence of the thing, so.
That much?
Yeah. I mean, how many gallons how many gallons a day was that? John?
How many more of
It
those?
looks like 3750, if I'm reading that right. 3780.
That was a big one.
3780?
They were blue, they were like a big rule, and it showed people how many
What's,
gallons a day.
Say 9 gallons
They were
a minute
wasting, the drip of
times
water
60.
into a garden.
times,
They used to be, when you first came over,
24.
there was a bunch there.
what's that?
They were blue and white,
12,000.
and they were like a 6.
12,000?
And it had a bunch of little.
What do we get here?
And it showed the people.
12,000?
Yes, if you look at ours.
You get 3,780? So and I'm just saying, if somebody left
How many gallons are losing by,
if you had a break in the pipe would be blowing out 9 gallons a minute. If you added that up over the span of 24 hours, how many gallons is that?
What's that?
We just had, how many gallons?
Tim, the problem we have,
I cleared it.
the irrigation pipes only down like that, and it was leaking like that. You would see a sponge
No, it wasn't, but that's a lot less than full blast. That's like a leak, you know. That's 3,700, 3,780. We just said it was, how many gallons was it? You just did the calculator.
12,000.
12,000. So that's a quarter of a full blast thing opened up, so. That makes sense. I think you got a leak. And what I would suggest you do is maybe, check into it further when you can turn, if you turn the sprinkler system on, if he fills it up, or you turn a valve to open it up, just, call up the department and the guys will come out there, and you gotta tell them when they, you gotta tell them, John, when they go out there that, wait till the sprinkler system shuts off on the timer and see if they're getting any water loss to the meter.
Are they really gonna respond to me?
Huh?
Are they really gonna respond to me?
If they don't, you make sure you call me about that, okay?
What?
Okay.
They will respond.
I am, I make the second, Sue's motion on
Okay. All in favor?
that.
Aye.
So, do you understand this now, Danielle? We abate it down to here,
Okay.
and the sprinkler is on. Okay? We'll adjust this. But if you do turn it on next spring, and it's up there again, you're on your own.
It can die. I'm not turning
Because
it back on.
you'll know you
I am
have a
petrified
problem.
to turn it back on.
Make sure you,
We'll adjust it down.
there's a
to
valve
here.
that they turn off. That must be out in the yard, must be a yard valve, huh?
So if we did decide to turn it back on, and I have the sprinkler guy come out, I would wanna call the water department and let them know I turned it back on, and they need to check the meter when we run it.
Well, what you would do is you'd have them turn it on. The day he does turn it on, you would have the guys come out, and then they would go out there. It would probably take an hour, and the timer, you can turn the thing off with the electronic timer. You turn it off, and then they watch the meter and see if that meter is blowing out water.
Okay.
Well, that new thing that we got, the thing that will tell that now, right away.
Well, it flashes two readings on the meter head.
Yeah,
One
you
of
take a flashlight, get the,
One of them's
Yeah.
the totalizer,
You can see
one
the
of them
thing.
says rate next to it.
it's got some, comes out with 3 different readings, right?
Yeah,
Rate,
no, I mean,
total,
without doing the data log, it's just the reading that's on the head, which you can activate with a regular flashlight. One is the meter reading itself, and then it flips to what's called rate, and it says rate on it. And if you have everything off in your house, and the rate icon flashes, and it shows numbers, that means there's water getting by when everything's shut off. If it comes to zero, it means that the system is tight.
Yeah. We had a problem over my house.
There's
You
no
or
way.
one of the guys came over,
Yeah.
was losing water. Had a line going from my house to my barn, and I was sleeping out a
We're
little
gonna
bit.
see what we're gonna do.
Okay, so I think what happens next is, John, you're gonna have the guy, or Carmen, have the abatement form put together, and they'll bring it to the next meeting, and we'll vote on it. They'll vote it down to that level, and they'll adjust your bill, okay?
How
Put me
does
down
that,
to
I
the
have like
front
a
line.
bill coming,
Yeah.
so we pay that bill?
Is it gonna be abated like that? You
Right, you need that.
Before the next cycle, or
I just,
how we abate and how
match
we
it up
abate
with
that?
that.
We didn't
Yeah.
actually,
The next bill for the thing would be due until the 20th, right?
This is yours, Danielle, I believe.
I mailed out like around the 10th, I think.
right there.
So you got a bill now, and you haven't paid on it, right?
I haven't paid that bill that's almost $400, and that bill you told my husband, we haven't bought
Okay, yeah.
So I believe that we have to charge you the rate, but we can abate it back to a certain level. Is that how it works now?
Yeah, you abate kind of the second bill you're talking about, right?
the
The three,
Maybe
the
on
one that's
meeting,
from 8/28 to 9/25.
Probably
Yeah.
19th. right? That would be the.
When's the bill being cut, the next
And
bill?
the discount would end at 20.
Right, we just read it a while ago,
We could straighten that over there by then, right?
but that would be the next one, not this one.
So we abate back to the level that we just talked about. And then your next bill would probably reflect the correction, right?
Well, it shows if we have a meeting in 2 weeks would be the 19th. And for her to get the discount, the 20th is the cutoff date for the discount, so I mean, we could actually have it straightened out before, you know, so she wouldn't lose her discount or whatever.
Okay.
I'll write you a check right now. If you want to do it now.
It's gonna take him some.
We'd have to get Larry involved in the math, I think.
You pay them early for the discount.
You could use discount.
No.
I mean, you
I'm
can
sorry.
figure that out and give her a call
Yeah.
and just let her know, that's all.
Come in to get some explanation, but I think that, it's kind of clear to me and the rest of the board that, I think you got a leak there.
Okay.
And so, if you want to talk about it again, just give us a call and you are considering starting it up in the spring.
Okay.
And so the next meeting, we'll have the form to abate it and adjust it to whatever, and then, now that you get the thing turned off, it's gonna be,
Even a small leak adds up fast when you figure it's going 24/7.
John, you don't have one of those rulers in your desk there that had all the little holes that showed how many gallons and stuff? We used to have them in the front door then when they moved that.
Right.
yeah.
And yeah, it showed,
Different size,
it showed the
different holes.
customers, like a drip to a
Yeah.
little steady stream, how much water was being wasted in the course of
Surprising,
the
it's a
day.
huge number.
Well, I deal with cleanup oil spills, so there's pinhole leaks on tanks, and that constitutes so many gallons a day, and that's a real problem, to clean that up. Yeah.
Okay, so the next bill I get will still be $77.55?
That will remain the same, right? We're not abating that particular one, right? The one that's coming up now.
I'm not expecting that one to be
Yeah,
abated.
sorry.
I just
Yeah,
didn't know
that's
if
what
that
that,
one's gonna have whatever I owe for that month on it too.
it'll show the 77 and you pay that.
Okay, so pay the 77 and the next bill will show an adjustment.
Yeah, we'll have it.
Or that changes.
Give her a call in a couple of days
Oh, yeah.
and just figure it out and
Yeah.
then, we'll let you know what the price is by abating it back down on that shaft fire.
Yeah, so you could actually give them money to an estimate of what the price should have been, and then, then the math will be done. If not this billing cycle, another billing cycle, is that how it's gonna work?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I just want to pay. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hope you have, we have a lot of rain next year for you.
I'll be the one with the dead mom.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night. Before we go on to old business, under new business, I would like to bring up the discount paid before the 20th, or by the 20th. I'd like to make a motion that we extend it to the 30th to match the lake department, make it easier on people to remember.
I've been trying to do that for a year and Stewie, and I think probably just before you came on was the last time that I mentioned it. And Laura said it screwed up everything all the way down the line. I don't know that much about the finance part, but I've been trying to get that across for 2 years.
Why don't we put this off for another meeting?
I went to a meeting last week downtown hall,
Okay.
and this would match the lake department. They have the discount until the 30th. It goes up to 15, so they give us a folks.
What I've been trying to get across, Stewie, on the same thing, is a lot of the people, they don't get their check until the end of the month. And it's been brought up to me, and every time I brought it up, Laura kept on saying it screwed up the whole system down through. But I think we definitely should put that under advisement and try and work that out so we can do that.
I think we ought to
Why would
pose the question to Sue and Karen right now, and then see if it's gonna create a problem like where we.
That was discussed last week at my meeting
Okay,
with Kevin. Now, how does it mess anything up? Just changing the date,
She,
giving them folk.
what Laura kept telling me,
I'm all for it, but
I'm 100% for it,
Yeah.
but what Laura kept telling me was that it screwed up the whole system to do with the discount and
I remember
the
this
meters
discussion
and
we
everything
had.
else.
we had
And
a good
I'll
discussion.
look back and see if I can find in my minutes that I get at the house here and see if I can find that, but I've been trying to get across for 2 years and nobody wants to listen to me.
I listen to you. but-
Yeah, I know you listen, but we didn't vote on it.
I'll listen to you.
I'm all.
No, but I mean, a lot of
I-
people get paid
I wanna find out
at the end of the
more.
month.
Yeah,
So let's get,
And,
let's get,
and, and trying to save the discount, maybe it's $3, $4, $5,
let's
but
get
it adds up
an
for an
email
older
over to.
person on a fixed income.
CDS, see what they say.
I was in a meeting last week for 2.5 hours, and this was brought up. It would make it much easier for the residents to remember to pay the bills, to give them to the end of the month, like the light department, they pay them at the same time. They can pay over the town hall, over the treasurer's office for the water bill,
Yeah,
and
But I think that we should definitely check into this in the next couple of weeks and see if we can't change that.
I wanna make sure we're not gonna shoot ourselves in the foot, so let's just,
I mean, I agree 100%, I'm not sure exactly the reason that Laura always, because every time I brought it up, and Scott was.
it
so-
sounded
Okay.
pretty big reason, so
Yeah.
that's why we didn't.
So I think we're gonna check
We
into it
discussed
just a
it
little
quite a
bit and just make sure that we're all set and ain't gonna,
So let's put that on the agenda for next
you know,
meeting. We get the agenda going.
let's make it a priority.
okay, I agree
And
with
then,
it.
we got the other thing is,
It would help me out too.
Dinsmore abatement. And the next meeting, we're gonna have the, we'll find out about the lab test for the thing we found. Okay, so, we have an update on the business manager position. We have gotten any information from downtown to see what's going on with that? Anybody get any information from downtown?
Well, we had a town meeting last night. We can transfer money from the business manager's wage line,
To cover that.
so the administrator can go up for RFP. Perhaps we can get somebody 20 hours a week,
Well, what we're gonna have to do is put it out for bid, right? We gotta get 3 bids.
RFP.
Well, yeah, we can put it out to bid. The options would be to put it out to bid or to hire somebody at that rate for that position. And we've decided to put it out to bid to get a subcontractor in here. But we're gonna go for
I'd still like to see this,
maybe a half.
post it, see if there's anybody out there. I mean, Laura was very good, but she's not the only one, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the direction we're going is to get a subcontractor in there until we, see how that works with, we're getting, more information with the treasurer and the business, the accountant, town accountant is helping us out, so we'll,
And the administrator.
you know,
We're exploring the best route to go.
so that's in progress, okay. Old business, Route 133 patch. Anything new developed on that? Has Ron just put this off for, until next spring?
Yes, I talked to him at town meeting last night,
Yeah.
and, he, I talked to him about it, he said that was okay. And that if you wanted him to come in and say so, he would. But it's an expensive undertaking.
Is he gonna help us with the preparation for the article? Is he gonna talk about it too at the meeting, or?
I didn't discuss it at length, but
Okay.
certainly we can.
Okay.
I'll tell you gentlemen, right now, I cannot vote for an article for that kind of money, for that patch, because you're driving down there normally and so forth. That bump is not that bad at all compared to other bumps in town. Up the west end of 133, the manholes from down like this.
Yeah, I have trouble noticing where it is, but I guess if you're on a tractor, you know, or something like that, you're gonna feel a big bump I don't know.
Snowplow.
in a snowplow. So
Well, I went over with the backhoe last week, and they bounced, but I mean, that wasn't bad.
okay.
At all.
Well, let's table the discussion on that until maybe next
I think we should
February when we
table it and talk to Ron and see what our next step is and get right on it in the spring.
Yeah.
Right now, it's too late for doing something like that.
Well, we can't do it until we get an article passed, because we can't.
You know, we get in
Exactly.
before we do the article.
Okay.
John, did you tell these gentlemen what you told me before the meeting, what the gentleman from Brock's told you?
Well, he was, you know, worried about whether he could make it smoother.
So he could do the job over, but he
in order
wouldn't
to do it, he would have to lengthen
the area.
the size of the patch so he could feather it.
The worst bump in
So
town.
that's why it's was more expensive.
The worst bump in town is from the library.
Downtown.
Baptist Church Parsonage here downtown. I realize it's a state road, but that was a town project. That was a brand new road.
You can't sit in the seat of any vehicle goes through that one.
I remember my boss on the state said, "Story." We just made it, repaved it. Gonna tear up your road.
I have bills.
And the drainage from the library.
Okay, so we gotta do the bills too?
Well, you're in here now.
Underline this iPad thing, what's this all about, John? Is there an iPad here?
Yeah.
Oh, we had two of them, right?
And the trucks, yeah.
One thing that makes it
Yeah.
you do the different ones like that. Laura and Marie always circle where they want us to initial on the price. Like if I don't do it every week, you know, Stu does it every week. We come in, we gotta kind of scale out and look at it. But if she always had the price, but then these, circle like that, we just sign by the circle. It just makes it a little bit easier. You know, where we don't do it every week.
This one, Joe, I don't.
Yes.
Send it.
I mean, you probably should look back in the record, you could probably see something, you know. Like that one circled, that thing. You know, just, you come in and you sign them quick, you know what I mean?
So the soft start thing costs $2,200?
It's the Granger place, yeah.
What?
The soft start for, Station 2, burned up.
Oh, okay.
Just grab it.
So what's PRS doing in this, this is June, July, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay, set up computer for Glenn. It's a computer sport, right?
Is
In
that the old one?
September. What happened to the old one
Looks
there?
like it cooked.
What's wrong with that joint? What the heck happened? Was there a short in there?
Did I hear you say 2,200 for that?
Yeah. Well, it's, what, from,
See the top.
It's moldy as plastic.
That's something, huh? How old is that unit? Is there a date on that, John?
maybe something like that.
Melted off.
Yeah. Is there a warranty with that, or? I think you should check to see if there's a recall on that.
You know, sometimes you get power surges. Those pumps run tens of thousands of hours.
That would cost you no business.
Okay, so this is the payment rec.
Yeah.
What's the story with that?
Payment mark for 2 spots.
You wanna take a look at those two? I didn't see anything wrong with it, Susan. You got the eagle eyes for
I
that.
don't know, tonight, I came out with my case for my glasses and I forgot to put the glasses on.
Tag the 2. Then John's looked at both of those.
What's this?
Condition.
So who tagged it?
Oh, I tagged her, she told me that.
Did Barbara put an email together on what this time was for?
Yes.
What was it for?
What I think I have the breakdown.
What's that for?
Weston and Sampson, when there's a problem with the design or whatever, Kinsman says, okay, well, this isn't gonna work, let's look at this, and so he hands it over to Sikora, and Sikora passes it up to Weston and Sampson, and then they look at it, and they kind of go through everything, they check the designs, and then they maybe modify it, or just
So
tweak it.
what
a
is this,
little.
like a change out of thing?
No, it's just, they have, well, you have like, they're the general, well, they're the design engineer oversight team. So when they're building it, they just have an oversight by the engineers.
So how much more
Secora's
money
like
they
the,
asking for?
huh?
How much more money they asking for?
It's part of the contract.
Yeah, but how much money?
Well, this one is 36 grand, so that's running, I saw a bar graph recently. It fluctuates. What is the fluctuation of Weston and Sampson bills per billing period?
You can't go right up to something.
Yeah. And this is the billing backup. So they put time into it, you know. and I think-
Is this just for the month or just for the whole project?
Well, no, just for the month. You get 10, 9/24, 10, 9/19. And generate the bill October 25th. You see when John Sikora's time shows up in fact. Barbara, and, you know, some of the other people working on the team.
But is this for Kingston stuff too, or is this?
This is,
Just for Weston.
this is just from Weston, but Weston,
The thing is, what I'm saying.
construction services, that's Weston, that's 360. And then construction contract, that's Kinsman, that's 550.
The thing is, I have a problem with that, I don't wanna sign it, is that Kingsman on until we see that he's paid the last month. So we don't end up in a mess like we did before.
What do you mean?
Where he wasn't paying the bills, maybe people calling us and.
Oh, that was a convoluted thing.
No, I'm not gonna sign it until I see it.
The people weren't paid because he paid the contractor to pay his subcontractors. But the contractor he did pay, didn't pay his
But
subcontractor.
what I'm saying before I want to sign the next month, I wanna see the last month was paid, but I'm gonna say.
Oh, to see if he was paid, Kinsman?
No, the people who paid, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Roy's saying, what Roy means is, he wants to make sure the sums have been paid.
No, before I sign the next one, I wanna make sure the last ones were paid, is what I'm saying.
Right, the subs, right?
Right.
Well, why wouldn't they be paid?
Well, we went through it how many times down here?
We went through it because there was a scoundrel in it. In the past, yeah.
I don't like the names of the two, and that's the way I feel.
Have you gone through this, Bill, John?
Well, I mean, John was good, so.
Hargraves went through it?
Yeah, and he recommended both of them.
Okay.
Get the front sheet, you know, soon.
What do we sign?
And she just needs permission.
much is left to pay that raise? A couple of weeks ago, you're down to 5,000.
Well, there's 5,000 left, so he's,
Just a few hours, yeah, not much. Just a,
okay, so,
I think we should save some of the 5,000 for emergency.
that's Gene's signature. And then, who's that? Weston Sampson, they reviewed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's what's in the back. It's the one.
Okay, Roy's made a request, he wants to see evidence of the contractors getting paid. Do you want to verbalize that in an email, John? Maybe, and then, and I would think that, would you be happy if Weston and Sampson said that they were paid? Because they're certifying these bills, they're watching.
I just wanna make sure that,
I
you know, we don't go
understand.
through what we went through the last time.
Yeah.
And it ended up downtown hall and everything else.
Yeah,
I just wanna see that last month's guys were paid before we signed for another round.
okay, so can you get that to, an email to Barbara, saying one of the commissioners is concerned that the subcontractors aren't getting paid. He wants to know if they've been paid before he signs off on this.
Okay.
For the following month, John, what I'm saying, in other words, last month, they were taken care of,
Yeah.
and then I have no problem with it. No, no.
Okay, so that takes care of all the bills, right, John? You get the SRF and, I had asked for the 1.3 breakdown, have you got that yet?
I'm working on it. I'm gonna have to go through some of the files, but I'm trying to, code what I thought was, SRF. The other borrowing. I'm gonna have to pull some of them. Vouchers just to make sure.
So what do you have to date? What do you got, you got something there?
Well, like I said, I just gonna code them for my own, no, I've got meters.
That list is a combination of both, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's why I have to try to figure out what we're at.
Okay. When do you think you might be able to give me that?
As soon as I can.
How about,
It's been pretty busy.
how about maybe you give it to me like at the end of the week?
So, give it my best.
Okay, and then all this budget stuff too, have you, old business, have you figured out the amount of money we didn't spend on a secondary water operator?
I think it's around 16,000.
16 from, so the full month of July, August, and September is 1/4 of the total salary line for that
Right.
secondary operator?
Yeah.
Or were they grouped in, were they broken out in the budget?
I believe they were.
The business manager is a separate line item.
Huh?
Business manager is a separate line item.
Well, I'm talking about the secondary operator.
Secondary.
Secondary is not. It's part of your backup.
Part of my.
Well, it's not part of the actual budget itself, but there's,
have, as the backup, some of the secondary, the primary and secondary is all included under the wages line.
With the secondary and the primary operator budget, was that one line item in the budget, or was it?
I believe it was two.
One, as, oh,
I kind of thought it was true, but I've seen so many of them approved by some number of times. So don't quote me.
Briefly talked to the town administrator. She wants to be very, very specific on why we need it. So we need to figure out if we can have some extra money to bring that gentleman back, to get some projects out of the way before the winter sets in. She wants us to be very, very specific about the use of that money. So that's why I want to be able to demonstrate it.
I don't know whether that's the right solution or not, but you had primary and secondary.
This is different now, Larry.
Yeah,
Labor or operator, we don't have one of them. And equipment operator, we don't have one of them.
right.
All we have is,
You
yeah.
know, I don't know if that.
What year is this? This is one of the earlier ones. I think. We had changed that
Right.
to reflect, instead of those two
Yeah.
positions, we now have two secondary.
Two
and one
secondary,
primary.
one primary. I just,
I think it was separate lines, but
Okay, so
so,
on Friday too, I'd like to meet with you to get the backup so we can, get that ball rolling. Because that guy should be coming back from the his vacation, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
so that's what I think they had. That was the total.
I don't know if that was. Is that the last revision?
I don't think so.
Is that on the last even?
So I'd like to see the budget. Let's get the budget right here. I want to get, how many weeks we have no secondary operator. And so we have a figure there to play with. Okay? All right, John, you understand what I'm talking about?
Yep, I'm just trying to make sense.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's Friday.
That's what happened.
We'll get that by. Maintenance of vehicles. We mentioned that we needed some maintenance done. Have we had any motion to get that thing
Draft one.
accomplished, to get some of this maintenance things out of the way?
Just wanted to check a couple of things. Brakes on the little dump truck, I wanted to have checked. Just some service on the back.
What about, now we have a CDL driver. Is he taking the big truck out for a road test yet?
Yeah, it is broken down.
How's he making out, the new guy?
Seems to be doing well. We're working on the stations. Seems to be picking it up.
Let's see if he can take a ride in the big truck and see how it handles.
Okay.
And so I would make a motion that we, get a list of maintenance things to get on top of by the next meeting. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor? All right, so treatment plan update. Is all the concrete work done?
Stuff here. progress of work completed. Process-
Percentage? Well, didn't Stu ask about percentage of the work done?
It's 60 to 70%.
60 to 70?
John said it. Process piping inside the treatment plants continued, trusses, roof sheathing. Ice water shield installed over process area. Insulation has continued, exterior block has been completed. Trim and soffits over administration area, concrete installation, residual bases completed. Site work continued, backfilling of residuals and cleaning up at well number 3. Electric conduit, administration area has begun. HVAC in the attic, process and admin area has begun. Painting in the process area and pipe gallery has begun. Interior block for partition walls has begun in the admin area. Rebar and form installation for the loading dock has begun. Exterior residual piping and head wall work has been completed. The equipment pad installation has continued. Electricians installed conduit boxes in the process area, and final grading of the roadway has begun.
What's the date on that letter, John?
October 29th.
Did you say that are they doing the road? Are they putting the first coat of asphalt down yet, or what?
It doesn't say, it just says final grading.
At the meeting last week, they said they wanted to bind it down shortly. I believe.
Proposed work, install sheet rock process area, gear and generator drives, hollow metal doors and windows, continue HVAC, continue work on loading dock, miscellaneous pads, chem feed mounting on back wall and elevated piping to begin. Primer block fill, first coat of paint to continue. Electrical, mechanical work to continue. Sprinkler fabrication has begun, will continue. And install binder before winter.
Okay. Status of fall work tasks. Any priorities, John?
Well, right now we've got a cutting coming up on actually tomorrow for the Carriage Pines main. It's going to be looped into the back of the I think it's Dodge Road there, the second part of that. And,
That's new stuff, isn't it? I'm talking about maintenance of the system.
yeah, of course, the ongoing inspections. So we need a pit at 501 that needs attention. We have a schedule of tank cleaning.
So who's gonna do the tank cleaning?
I think we're still getting quotes on those.
What about are they gonna develop any of the wells?
Originally, I was told that was slated for December. I don't know if that schedule's changed or not yet.
So they're gonna develop the wells at well
3 and
3 and 5?
Yeah.
So is that part of the contract?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Do you have hydrant flushing scheduled this fall?
We get in between the freezes, yeah.
No, it's warm weather yet coming.
We didn't do any this spring, correct?
No.
I think it's imperative that it gets done myself. You have the help now.
So if we do it this fall, are we gonna go on a cycle of doing it every fall,
You can. And
once a year?
It's the option of spring or fall.
So
usually.
Glenn.
You just do it twice a year, right?
If the system's really dirty, yeah, but it uses a lot of water. And,
Well, would, maybe get some input from Glenn.
it's millions of gallons, so.
I feel it's a necessary evil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay. These are the bills, sorry.
Uh, Peter had, I think he said he discussed this with you on the phone. Of
Yeah,
his participation in FEMA in times of emergency.
yeah. So is he,
I don't know if we wanted to talk to him about it.
what do we need to talk to him? It's like, isn't it like National Guard duty or national, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it says, I believe it also says the employee is reimbursed.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had to serve.
Yeah, that would be, it's like a civic duty thing,
Right.
we can accommodate that. How long would he be going away for if he had to go away?
It's no more than 14 days.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could,
That's the cap.
if we're gonna get reimbursed, maybe we could consider, bringing the guy that's retired in. See if he'd be willing to do that if we needed help
If something
on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
In case it was like a break or we needed some coverage, somebody was on a vacation. But we don't wanna have, down to one staff member here for the treatment system.
Right.
Why wasn't this brought up when we hired him? Mhm.
I don't think it would've made any difference, Roy. He's a civil, he's got some good credentials and good civic duty credentials. I think we all kind of agreed that he was, the exceptional candidate, so. I don't think he's gonna be away too frequently, but.
No, I mean, the sleeper window, all kinds of stuff.
Does he need a signature of somebody? Yeah, I would say sign that, John. I mean, you think so still.
understand that my agency will be compensated for my time when I serve as a member of the task force. I have to agree with Roy. I wish we knew this when he was hired. But as Tim said, it wouldn't not have changed my mind because he does have the credentials. Many years ago when I was in reserves and I went to active duty every year, my employer made up the difference between what the military paid me and what I would have earned at my job.
Does he need that signed? He needs it signed, right? So just sign it, John. I make a motion that you sign it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, do I have a motion to, any other issues that we should be talking about right now? Still?
John, did you measure Fennel Drive yet? Excuse me?
I haven't done with this, I'm sorry.
You need to get that done so we have a night for budget time, so we can talk it over for an article to spring meeting, if we vote to close that loop.
Okay, so we got 2 weeks to the next meeting.
Can you get that done, John?
So I make a motion that John gets that done within the next 2 weeks. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hey, can you take care of that curb stop
It'll
on
be the
1A
19th,
this week, John?
Next meeting is the, what did you say?
19th.
19th.
Before you close the meeting, may I ask, I actually have 2 questions. I'm wondering the status of the disposed equipment that you were looking to get rid of, the truck and the grinder or something, is that gone?
That's a good question. Any activity on that, John?
Well, I think that we talked something about trying to use part of the headgear from the plows or something.
I can't see going out buying all the another plow and stuff when we get that plow there. So as far as I understand, we keep the plow and the headgear
Right.
to put on the truck we got out here with no plow.
See if they can handle it.
All we're gonna do
Like you said,
by
yeah.
the bottom plates and pump
Bottom
controls.
plates.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the plow's the main issue of it. You know?
What I'd like to see you do, John, price out, that's just my opinion, price out what the new side plates will cost, because you tell me that side plates don't fit the newer truck.
They change them like every couple of years.
Okay,
What we could do, Stu, is have him call the Fisher and just see what it would cost to take our plow and headgear and put it on this, going from what, 09, I mean, a 99 to a 09, is that what it is?
Yeah.
See what that is, and get a price for the whole thing, and so we know.
I understand what you're. All right, the old truck wouldn't have to go, and it couldn't go because it's not registered. And you would, So the new truck would just have to, have the electrical and the side plates, get a price for that.
Right. In other words, so we could use that truck for,
I understand.
with the same 8-foot plow.
New plow's about down there $5,000.
Yeah, that's why they,
If you get this done,
$1,500, we have a plow.
spend 1,500, you're fine.
Good point.
You
So,
take care of that, John?
You will do them.
so what would happen with that now? You would call them up, they'd say, okay, well, it's gonna be a doable thing, right? And then, so you'd have to have that thing taken off that, right?
Yeah,
And then you dispose of the vehicle?
yeah.
All right, so what happens, how do we dispose of the vehicle? What do we decide on?
I thought we decided we were gonna put it out to bid.
It's a minimum plow, so the headgear's all off it, am I correct?
It's a what?
Minimum plow, right?
It is the minimum one.
Yeah, it's an 8-foot Fisher minimum.
There's different models.
Yeah, but I mean, so that's off it, that's with a plow. So all that's left on the truck's the electrical and the side plates.
Right,
So you don't need the old truck for anything.
right.
That can be gone. Right, you can go breaking clutch, then you have
Place over in Drake it where we get the 9-foot.
Alright.
That was the Fisher place.
Drake it.
Yeah, do you remember the name of that place then? It was on 110 in Drake it.
I've been by there once, but I don't know the name of it.
That's when we did the
I know what you're
9-foot
talking
when the plow was stolen.
All right, braking clutch, Drake it,
Franklin Motors.
is that what it is?
I'm almost positive Franklin Motors.
Okay.
There's Lacey.
I went by there one day, I'll bet they had 100 plows there if they had one a few years ago.
They treat us good on that.
Then you have the,
9-foot one.
Lacey,
are they braking clutch? I mean, are they Fisher,
I think so.
Lacey, or you have one dealer in,
Salisbury.
Salisbury, I think.
where is it? Lacey's in Salisbury.
Yeah, over there by the,
See if he's Fisher, and if he isn't, you have one in, Rye, New Hampshire. Lane's Garage, L-A-N-G, I believe.
So, let me clear this in my mind. So can we just get this truck out of here now?
can we hold off for a week until he gets those things, just make sure there's nothing else we have to pull off from that?
Well, it's gonna take a while to advertise it for something to take the,
No, but when he talks to them, they'll tell them what they can do. I mean, we're gonna need to, I don't know if we're gonna want the same control box for the new box, I'm not sure how.
Oh, but
If he calls them, tomorrow is Wednesday, if he calls them tomorrow or Thursday, then he would know.
okay. Let's get that thing moving. And then as far as the other thing, the milling machine.
I'm against that, with the control press and everything else.
it's true. Didn't use it.
Well, didn't we talk about, weren't we gonna get a poll, we need, if anybody can run it, number one. Number two was, what will we use it for?
We use many things, not just a milling machine.
I wanted to get rid of it, and then I believe Roy brought it up. With us some new employees, if somebody knew how to use it, we would keep it. I wanna see it, do some work.
I thought that we were gonna get, John was gonna get together with Glenn to find out if anybody knew how to use it, or why we would use it, or could we have a use for it. And if we didn't have a valid use for it, we were going to, get it advertised on Craigslist or something like that. Dispose of it.
Right.
So has there been any motion to get that information to see who could use it, or who could drive the machine, and what kind of use will we have for it? I think somebody said that they used it once, that I recall. I'm not sure who else would be using it.
Can you find out from the employees for the next meeting, John?
Alright.
You put that on for the next meeting agenda. Bridgeport milling machine. List of uses for department personnel. Okay,
You had 3 quotes for the old truck, right?
Right.
Do we advertise that?
No. Expensive to advertise.
All right, your highest quote was 400.
Yeah.
I think I felt we should go for 600.
Can we put that in the town common? Is it expensive for that?
I don't know.
Maybe we ought to check into that.
Yeah,
At least in the local
It's a
paper.
couple of $100 in the, yeah, it knows.
My opinion is I don't want to spend $150, $200 on advertising. We don't come out any further than 400, but we owe it. We owe it to the ratepayers to do the best we can.
I think you can advertise on Craigslist for like, I don't know, cheap money, can't you?
Um,
I don't know.
It's hard to say when
Rather than, I wouldn't.
Why don't you check that out, John?
I wouldn't look
Next
to
meeting we'll
disposal
discuss
of
it.
public property, I'm not sure that that's.
I believe we had 3 choices: auction,
So that,
sealed bid, and
Yeah, it's, something.
Well, Craigslist is like an auction, so. You're trying to get the highest bid. So who would you ask downtown about that?
the administrator.
yeah, she does all that good too.
Because you called scrap yards up for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so. Why don't we just entertain a motion of just putting it on Craigslist?
Oh, I had one more thing to bring up.
Well, let's settle this thing. We want to make a vote or a motion to put it up on Craigslist to get this thing going?
I want to check
Find
with
out
you.
if it's okay first.
Yeah.
Exactly, I want to check with the administrator first.
Okay. So that's our,
Okay, sorry to open Pandora's box. My other question is, I guess, John, you would know, is the treatment plant ETA still in the feasible quoted time?
As far as I know, it's still April, May completion.
Okay. Sorry.
okay, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
One more thing.
You tell me those.
I believe I mentioned it before, so we could say, mention it under old business. We can save a lot of money if we bill bi-monthly, instead of monthly. Read the meters every month if you want. So somebody knows if they have a leak. Or bill bi-monthly. We're spending $18,000 a year on billing now. Bi-monthly, if you cut that in half, $9,000 savings.
I like the idea, Stu, but I thought the last time we discussed it, we were gonna try to get some input from
How about if,
the 2 people that are helping us out with the,
how about,
I
at
did.
the same time that he's finding out about the, going from the 20th to the 30th of the discount, and check into that, just make sure there's no problems, you know, with, the money coming in for paying a bill. Does that sound fair enough?
yeah.
You know, check at it at the same time, you just
We gotta pose the
tell them what
question,
we wanna do and just make sure everything's,
we gotta pose the question
Go 2 months.
to the 2 people helping us out right now. And maybe,
That question was brought up at my meeting last week.
do we wanna get them to put an email together, maybe Karen could put an email together to give us her opinion. You wanna do that? Solicit her opinion for our next meeting, so that's 2 weeks. Then she should pretty much have a, good feel with you talking about it. You gonna have another meeting about everything down there?
We can.
Okay, so then let's get an email from Karen or Sue.
Makes good sense to me.
Yeah. On both those issues, John? Just send an email to them saying the board has discussed this and would wish that now that you've had some time looking at our business with these two issues, we want your opinion on how we should proceed. Okay?
If we save 9,000 here and 9,000 there, we can bring these water rates down.
Motion again.
Can I have a motion to adjourn now?
I'll make it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.